It's Kim with Lead Generation Source. I just want to know if you can see my screen and hear me. I know there's a little delay on the messages, so hi Sandra, good to see you. You know, it's really weird. We had I went ahead and shared the message out, of course, for the webinar, and somehow the registrations went through the roof. So I just want to take a look at that and see if we've been compromised. Let me look and see here. Yep. I hate that. I don't know how to avoid that. That would be both of my webinars now that have a gajillion people signed up that don't exist. Oh well. If they join us, if the imaginary people join us, that's fine. You did have to re-register. That's crazy. Huh. Well, they did have an update not that long ago, so something may have happened. Okay, let me apologize in advance. I am not sick, but I have majorly bad allergies. And this week apparently is mountain cedar. And that I guess I'm really allergic to. So we've had high winds and it's been pretty bad. So anyway, we've got a lot to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and get started as people continue to hop on. And no, Sandra, you're not the only one. There's at least 2 other people. It looks like Linda's on now. And then there's one other person in here so far. And it'll fluctuate throughout the webinar. So it's kind of not a great time for everybody, but I couldn't do another evening one. My daughter gets pretty upset when I do Monday one, but she gets over it when she gets to play zombies with daddy. So anyway, so let me go ahead and get started. So we talked on Monday, for those who are not in Trex and on the replay, we talked on Monday a little bit about chatbots. So I promised that I would cover some of that information today as much as I could. But first I want to talk about backlinks, because that's our next step in search engine optimization. So let's recap a little bit of search engine optimization. And of course, search engine optimization, or SEO, is one of the best methods for free traffic. And there are other methods for free traffic, but literally search engine optimization is one that once you get to the point you're on page 1 for whatever your traffic generating keyword is, then you can get lots of traffic from that. And that's from, searches in search engines. So we use on-site optimization that we've covered. Our keywords are the way we set up the site, embedding our images and everything. We use on-site optimization to clarify the contents of the page for search engines, and also for Facebook when we can implement schema. And if you don't know what that is, you need to go back and watch some of our replays about schema. So we use off-site optimization to further clarify the contents, to drive traffic to our site, and to create votes. Backlinks are when another site includes a link or mentions your website. So I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of this. So if I am in, all right, let's see here. I'm going to get logged in real quick. So if I'm creating a post and I'm talking about something, let's go home security alarm. So I'm talking about home security alarm, and I want to backlink to somebody. I would highlight a keyword, and let's say I wanted to do home automation. I would highlight that keyword, and I would insert a link. Now that, when I put that link in, if I say, www.google.com, then that link now gets credit for this keyword of home automation. Now the other way you can do it, and this is where let's say that I wanted to say google.com, right? I say, if I'm typing it in here, this is annoying since I already have content here. So if I say, hey, google.com has some great resources for you, right? But I don't create the link. Oops, resources for you. I don't create the link here. It still reads that as what they call a no follow. And so you still get credit for this, even though there is no official link there. Now, ideally, we want those links, but there's not much we can do. We can't control what other people do. But if somebody's talking about RE Security Solutions and they type in resecurity-solutions.com offers home security, but they don't create a link, I still get credit for that as a link back. Now, it's a lot more complicated than that, but that's basically a vote. When it comes from another site, it's a vote. internally, it's also clarification, of course. So if I wanted to clarify my home automation page, make sure my home automation keyword on other pages links back to that. And I think I mentioned this before where Jeff Lenny said something about if you have 3 internal links going back to one page, that's equivalent to like a pretty good high quality one link coming from another site. So obviously search engines do like that clarification and to make sure that you have your content organized on your site. So that is just kind of like a general of how it works. But we can't really control these votes. And oh, sorry. Okay, so search engines like backlinks that come from strangers with established sites and good authority. So something like CNN.com, they put a link out that's a high, that's an established site with good authority, and it's a stranger to whatever site that it is. Even if they've talked to them, that's not the point. The point is it's not on the same site, it's not on the same server, and that's a stranger. So that is a better link than somebody on the same server. Like if you have a friend that shares your hosting and they're like, oh, I'm going to give you a link back, that really is basically the same thing as an internal link, which again, like I said, is still good, but not as good as if you can get a high quality established site link back. So the search engines also like some of the social media links. And of course that's, Facebook and Google Plus, things like that. And we'll talk about those in just a minute. So search engines also like to see that you have traffic. And this is where paid ads also help with search engine optimization if you can drive enough traffic. So if you have people on your site regularly, then Google looks at that, well, all the search engines, but Google looks at that as, oh, hey, you know what? People like this site because there's traffic on it. So they look at how long the person's been on the page, if they bounce back really fast. So if they open it and they're like, oh, this isn't what I'm looking for, and they close it, or they click the backlink, that's what they call bounce back. And, if there's a lot of people doing that every within the first few seconds, Google's going to go, oh, well, whatever they clicked on to get there obviously wasn't right. So obviously that's where our keywords come in handy to help clarify the site. So we make sure the people that are coming to our site know that, okay, if I'm clicking on home security in Arlington, Texas, and I click on a link to RE Security Solutions, I'm going to find home security in Arlington, Texas. I'm not going to find it in Arlington, Virginia, because that would not be helpful for them. So they bounce back. So that's where we have to make sure we clarify on our site. And then we, of course, make sure that our ads and everything else are also driving the right traffic to help us. So we can't control how strangers link and when they link and where they link, but we can control social media and we can help strangers find us. There are lots of additional ways to create backlinks and traffic, but this week we're just going to focus on social media in general. And in the future weeks, I'll break it down by each one because each one of them has opportunities to drive traffic and to generate additional, places where people can find the link. I should clarify for social media, if you have just one link back from there, that's what counts, right? So for the backlink for the vote of social media, for your vote, that's going to, Google says, okay, look, that's a link back from Facebook. That's good. But having multiple links on Facebook helps more people find that link because they may not go to the right section. They might not find it in a spot. They might overlook it, whatever. So having it in multiple places and having it readily and easy to access is going to make that traffic happen. So that's where it's kind of like a twofold thing with each of these. So at the bare minimum, you need an account at each of these places with your URL. So your www dot whatever your domain is, they need to be listed in the appropriate sections. And again, like I said, as long as there's one in a public section, that will be count as a link back for search engine optimization purposes, but we want to also optimize on each one of those pages. So for this week, just set up each of the accounts, and then over the next several weeks, I'm going to focus on each one individually and how to optimize for each one of those. So here you may want to screenshot this one so that way you get a list of them. And again, this is not all of them, but these are the top ones that we're going to focus on to start with. So, and okay, this is where Facebook and Linda, you have a Facebook account. So for it, right? So Facebook, you have to have your own personal account. And then what you do for Facebook is you create a business page. And the business page is where you create the link, you put it in the settings and everything. So that's for Facebook, that's the account I mean for Facebook. For Twitter, that can be your personal account if you're willing to put in your URL to your website. If you're willing to put that address back in to Twitter on your personal account, that's fine, because you can put that in the about section and you can just use one account. But if you have like me, if you're like me and you have multiple businesses, each one of my businesses has to have its own Twitter account, because I can only list the URL for the business once. So now that doesn't mean I can't tweet out from each one, even though that's kind of manipulating it. But and we'll talk more about that when we talk about Twitter. But you want to make sure you have a Twitter account, because we're going to eventually use that Twitter account. So like All Time Finds, for example, if I'm going to use All Time Finds will have a Twitter account, and I can tweet out every time I have a new product, right? So that creates a backlink to that particular product. And of course, these, even though for video I said let's step back and look at conversions first, for each of these you can go ahead and tweet out everything you want, because every time you do a tweet is potential traffic, and potential traffic means potential sales or potential conversions of whatever your site is. So LinkedIn is for professionals, so it's a personal account, but it's your personal business account. So it's you as a business professional, and you're supposed to be sharing information about you as a professional, right? So theoretically, the way it would work is if I'm the secretary at, Edward Jones locally, I would put on there that I'm the secretary at Edward Jones, and I would have the link back to the Edward Jones site. That's great for huge corporations, because every single one of their employees can basically be driving traffic back to their page. It doesn't actually work that way, but for our purposes, we need to make sure that we are using our professional account to include the main URL, the address for our site, so that we can, of course, get that link back. And there's actually a way to get some free traffic from LinkedIn, but it's a lot more complicated, and we'll have to go into that. We'll have to dive into that one, of course, in more detail on its own. Well, like you can have multiple sites, Linda. So if you have, for example, your Trek site is one site. If you have two Trek sites, you'd have, each one of them, you would have to have a link from there. But LinkedIn is just for, yeah, okay. So you have the Trek site's going to be the site that you're going to be directing your traffic to. So, and in the world of search engine optimization, I guess, we call that our money site, where we make our money. So whatever your money site is, and if you have multiple money sites, you still have to figure out a way to get them all into your LinkedIn profile. And like I said, we'll talk about that when we get into LinkedIn, but for the purposes here, make sure you have an account set up at LinkedIn if you don't have one. If you do, and we'll talk about that briefly, but just make sure you get through the settings and everything. Yeah, Linda. I mean, I would, if you're only using that one, if you're only using like one funnel page, and it's a little bit harder with the Trek site because it doesn't function like a normal site. It really doesn't. It's not like a Shopify store where people can actually browse around your site. And the strategy behind Trex is that you're driving traffic to a specific page for the funnel. And to be honest, the dilemma with that when you're doing something with LinkedIn is that if I put www.alltimefinds.com, they're not going to be able to buy most of the stuff on that page because it's not set up right. So what I would do is, if you have a specific funnel that you're already directing to, like if I was going to do for the Trex people, my Beagle site, my Beagle page, I might just put in the URL directly to that page. So I want to focus that whatever that main link is to my money, where my money is. So if you only have one or two funnels, just put those links in. But if you have a lot of funnels, we're going to have to figure something out, because we'll have to probably put it into collections and then create a collection link. And so the whole Trek stuff, when we start talking about LinkedIn, we'll have to, of course, focus that for Trex. So, but you want your money site to be linked back from LinkedIn. Now, a lot of people who have multiple money sites are like, well, I don't want to be associated personally with that account. Yeah, Linda, I'd like to see how they change that. They said in that, I watched that webinar, and they said June, July, something like that. So we'll see. I mean, it's only January. They got a lot of time. Anyway, but in a lot of people in LinkedIn, they go, well, I don't want my personal information to be associated with this because I don't want people to know that I own this business. And then don't include it. But that is one of the main social media sites that is acknowledged by search engines as, important. So if your money site is important and it makes you money, you're going to have to figure out a way to use LinkedIn, or to at least include it. And there are ways, and we'll talk about that more. So if that's your issue, then just make sure you still have a LinkedIn account, because you still need that account to do what we need to do to get some links out. And Pinterest we've talked about before, but I want to emphasize it here that Pinterest is considered a social media site, and it does, not only does it give you potential traffic, but it's pretty much a critical. You need to be pinning your images, you need to be doing a lot of different things for search engine optimization, but also again to drive traffic. And a good example of this is I've said this before, I didn't take Pinterest seriously up until a couple months ago when I had implemented the well, it's through Shopify, where it's a buyer pin where people can click buy now straight on Pinterest. That's only available on Shopify and BigCommerce, I think. So still, I hadn't thought much of it. It's basically a pin on Pinterest. That's all it is. I mean, it's nothing special about it. It's just like if we were going to pin something on our page anyway, but instead of just had a buy now instead of a, get more info or learn more or whatever it is that they put on there. So all of a sudden I got a couple of orders that came in, and they were pretty big orders. If my average order was like $7 or $8, these were coming in at like over 100. They're ordering enough items and multiple items and stuff. And so the people on Pinterest are buying and they're looking. So we definitely need to be on Pinterest, and you definitely need a business profile, because that's the only way to get the business analytics. And you can't get them until you claim your site. And I am working on a video for the Trex people, but when we get to covering Pinterest, I'll show how you can claim a site. There's 2 different ways, and I'll show how to do that in some detail. And of course, we'll talk more about driving some traffic from Pinterest as well. So Google Plus. Now, Google Plus is a little bit more difficult, and that's because everything with Google has to be, I don't know, annoyingly difficult. I think they really want you to work for it. So if you want to wait on Google Plus and to create the account when we cover the topic, that's fine. I think there's plenty of people. In fact, I would venture to say that most people are not on Google Plus. Google Plus is really good for local businesses, and so that tends to be where we see a lot of the people, the local businesses getting on Google Plus. But your options are basically a business or a brand. And so if you do decide to do this, you just need to choose the type of page, and if you're e-commerce with no physical location, you can just select brand. And like I said, if you're not ready to do Google Plus, just hold off and we'll go over it together. I have done this. I have a Google Plus for my security company. I think I have a Google Plus for another account that I don't really use anymore, but it's not, the reason why I don't have Google Pluses for every single one of my websites and stuff is because it's difficult. So, and it's difficult to maintain. But there are some really great ways to use Google Plus to get links back from and drive traffic and everything. So it's definitely not to be overlooked. Now, Instagram. Now, I added this one because, well, I'll just explain. So I mentioned how each of the social media channels are basically a vote back, right? So even though you've created the vote and the search engines know that it's a vote that you've created, they still say that's okay. They expect it. It's part of the way the world is now. That's the culture of online. That's an expectation in search engine optimization. Instagram is not there yet. As far as anybody can tell, Instagram, other than driving traffic, which is good, does not appear to currently count as like a vote. So if Google may or may not even know you have it there, but they don't, as far as everybody can tell, it's not really counted quite yet as a vote. However, because of the growth of Instagram, if it doesn't count now, it will count soon. And this is exactly what happened with Twitter. I talked about this before. Twitter, Google said, oh, you know what? You don't count. Those small tweets, that's not considered content. We don't want to put yours, we don't want it to be searchable. You can't put it in our search engine. And, Twitter, whatever, they went back and Twitter was big enough at that point. They said, look, people are on here. People are doing this. You either hop on the bandwagon or miss out. And Google kind of said, oh, yeah, okay, I guess so. So same thing's going to happen with Instagram, is that if, like I said, if it doesn't count right now, which it might, it just may not count as much because it's part of Facebook. But if it doesn't count, it will. And so I think you need to set up an Instagram account. Now, the thing with Instagram is it's a lot easier because you only get one link. So unlike everywhere else where you can put out multiple links, you get one link from Instagram. And that goes in your profile. And, we'll talk about that when we talk about Instagram, but create your Instagram account for your business. and you can have multiple Instagram accounts. I have several for each one of my businesses, and you can tie it to your Facebook page if you get that far. If not, we'll cover all of that when we talk about Instagram. Now, I included YouTube here, and we've covered YouTube a little bit with the video section, and it's not technically called social media, but it gets lumped into it anyway. And again, YouTube is one that, especially for Google searches, is critical. Like, you have to have links back. So yes, Linda asked Instagram for each fan page. Yes. Yeah, if you have multiple fan pages, you're going to need multiple. You can only attach it to one fan page, so you're going to want to have multiple Instagram accounts for each fan page as well. I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually tested that, but I create one for each fan page because think about it, you're going to have to be niche specific. The people that are going to your page are going to be looking for specific things. So if somebody goes to your Instagram, profile, and they want to click on that link, they want to click on the link that's related to the content. So yeah, so it makes sense regardless of whether you can have fit for multiple pages, just have one for each page. So those are the basic ones, and if you hadn't had a chance to screenshot, I'm going to give you a couple more seconds. Oh, I can hide this. I keep forgetting. Hide that. Okay, so what we're going to do for this week is we are going to just set up the accounts for all of them. Yeah, you can ask a general question. And while she's typing that in there, I'm just going to keep going with this for a second. So this week's goal is to set up the accounts. And then if you already have accounts, just familiarize yourself with any of the settings pages you don't know. I doubt everybody knows everything about all of those. So, learn more about the ones that you don't know. With YouTube, you're going to need to create a YouTube account. It's part of your Google. So you go in and you log in and you're going to do a channel and everything else, and eventually you'll post your videos there. So, if you're not into video yet, you're going to need to get into video. And this is one we can go over this again when we get through these, or if we want to focus a little bit more on it when we get ready to do video, we can. But, I understand that you really don't want to do video unless you have a reason to do it. And, I talked about this on Monday for the Trex people, is that if you have a product and it's not converting, you don't want to spend your time and resources in creating a video. But if you are doing anything else, if you're doing affiliate marketing, if you have a local business, if you have, if you're, even if you're selling e-commerce and you have a product that's converting, you do need to use video. And even if you're not using it to necessarily sell, but just to get that link back, you're going to have to post a video and put it on there. And of course, we can cover video again when everybody's ready to do it again, because that is a very, very important topic. Yes, Linda. So each one of these sites will link back for search engine optimization, but it will also it basically opens a door for traffic from each one of these as well. So, everybody likes to think that everybody's just on Facebook, but the reality is that there are people on Twitter, there are people on LinkedIn, there are people on Pinterest, there are people on Google+, and there are people on Instagram and YouTube, for that matter, that are all not on other channels. So, and even if and Facebook's so huge, you want to just open up the opportunity that people are going to see you. So somebody may not be on Facebook for a week and they may be on YouTube instead. So we just want to make sure we have all of our channels open so we can drive traffic from each one of these back. So we get the link back for search engine optimization, but we also drive traffic from each one of these. Linda, this is where it'll all make more sense as we go on. And that is, we're going to use each one of these so yes, sort of. And we're not going to be as active as we are like on Facebook. Facebook is very resource time intensive. And that's, of course, we'll talk about chatbots in just a minute, but that's why chatbots come in handy. But we're going to utilize each one of these to help us also promote, our Facebook activities and everything else. So each one of these will be driving traffic back to our site. But what we'll do is, let's say that, we have a Facebook post. So we can then tweet the link out that we have that post. We can post it into LinkedIn. We can pin it into Pinterest. We can post a thing back onto Google+. And then, of course, we would, kind of like Pinterest is, we would basically post an image also onto Instagram. And that all back to that Facebook went. So we're going to create this web of people are going to find us, right? And then of course YouTube, we have videos. So YouTube is the only one that's kind of like its own competition directly to Facebook, right? So YouTube and Facebook are almost directly competitive because of the whole video angle. But so those are the only two that are like that. Otherwise, everything else kind of supports each other. So while we do while we're doing our activity primarily on whichever channel we decide. Now, of course, Linda, you might find out that your audience is not on Facebook, right? I mean, your audience may not be on Facebook. So as you start doing these, if you all of a sudden get onto Pinterest and you see that you're getting double the amount of traffic off of Pinterest with hardly any effort, you may want to shift your effort to Pinterest because that's where your audience is. So when we do these, we're also helping to find out where our audience is. And a really good example of this would be our ornaments, right? So the EP laser ornaments. So we have them on Amazon and they do okay. But what we found is we tried to put them on Facebook and we could not get an audience. We couldn't even build an audience. It was just too difficult. It was too expensive, just such a nightmare to try to fine tune an audience because they're too general, right? It's not something that's niche specific. So, right, Linda, and don't let it feel overwhelming. You keep doing what you're doing right now that you think, but here's the thing is that if you keep, what do they say? What's the definition of crazy? You keep doing the same thing over and over again and think you're going to get different results. But the same thing applies. If you expand what's working, then you're going to then, magnify your, your profit, your conversions, and everything else. So the idea behind this is that while you're slowly, adding, you just go create all these accounts. That's all we're doing this week is just creating the accounts. We don't have to do anything else. And that's just so that they're there. And that's just so you don't have to do them, later on. If something does pick up, you've already got that there and somebody can find you. So if you can't build them all, focus on, we're going to start with, we'll recover Facebook again next week just to make sure we've, briefly, we'll mention that since we've covered it before. We'll go over Twitter. And then I think that's what we'll do. We'll focus on Facebook and Twitter and talk about how to do those. So it's going to be really slow. We're going to fine tune these and talk about strategy for them. And then we'll go into LinkedIn's going to be all by itself. Pinterest is going to be all by itself. Google Plus is going to be all by itself and might end up being two, right? And then Instagram will be all by itself. And then at some point, we'll recap over YouTube and other video links as well. There's only one other one, by the way. But we'll talk about strategies with YouTube because there's a lot of strategy I didn't talk about, but I can't talk more about it until we've talked about these because it uses these to help support that as well. And again, remember, YouTube is the second largest search engine. So Linda, I've been doing this forever. So I don't want anybody to feel like they're dumb or that oh my gosh, there's just too much information. It's just like if you're going to learn anything, right? This is just an overview of the different ones we're going to cover. So yes, since July, exactly. I've been doing this. I've literally been building websites since 1999. And I've been involved in search engine optimization ever since then. Now, I didn't really get into it until like the last year or so where I started doing it to actually drive traffic. And that's where, and to be honest, it's a lot harder now than it used to be. So there's a lot of that, and that's part of why you have to do a lot more work now. But think about this, we're competing with some really big companies that have a lot of resources. But that's where we're going to go ahead and as we build and we find what's too overwhelming but works, we don't want to put our money and our time into something that doesn't work. So if it's not working, we need to figure out why, right? So, we talked a little bit about this on Monday for K&K that, you've got to figure out what converts. So if it converts, then it's probably the traffic source. And if the traffic source is, hey, Facebook does not have the right audience on it, or we can't get the algorithm to find the right audience, then we got to figure out a different way to do it. So that's where a lot of these just come in handy, but we're just going to slowly build on each of these. And if there's one you're like, oh my gosh, I totally hate it and I never want to do it, that's okay. As long as you've got the account and you've got that link in your bio, then you're fine. And again, if you're like, hey, I'm not ready to create all my accounts, just start with make sure you've got your Facebook page and then just start with Twitter because we're going to talk about those two. I'll try to make it these two, then LinkedIn. I'll try to go straight down this, okay? And I want to leave Instagram later because Instagram's got a whole strategy to it that's different. So, and it's it's different. It's just weird. And Instagram and Facebook are so similar. And if you're running ads, you may be already on Instagram anyway. And I don't want to double up. I want to kind of spread it out a little bit, spread the love, right? The Instagram audience is unique. So if you do have something and you want to dive into Instagram more, feel free by all means, but I'm going to cover that later because it's, like I said, it's closer to Facebook. So I want to go Facebook, then we'll talk about a little bit about Facebook, mostly Twitter next week. Then the following week we'll do LinkedIn, and then we'll do Pinterest, and we'll add on things as we say. Yeah, Linda, I gotta say, I'm kind of stuck in between. I say, like, Facebook, I'm on it now, but I literally only got onto it because of business. And then Instagram is literally a couple years below me. And so I'm like stuck in the middle of them. In fact, when I first got on, I was on MySpace, which I don't even, you see, MySpace is not on here. There's a reason. You can create a MySpace account, but I warn you, remember how I joke all the time about how I hate looking at porn stuff? This is probably where it came from, MySpace. It's all music video stuff and stuff about music now, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I mean, this social media is definitely an adventure, no matter where it is. But MySpace is a nightmare in and of itself. I do not think that MySpace counts as a link back. If it does, we'll add it on later. But like I said, for now, I wouldn't worry about MySpace at all. We're not gonna put that one on the list. In fact, I pulled up one from like 4 years ago, and they don't even have MySpace listed either. So there's a reason. Everybody went to Facebook after Facebook popped up, and then MySpace turned into its own little world. So just focus on Facebook and Twitter to start with, and then we'll branch out from there. And of course, YouTube. If you have any videos, make sure you have your YouTube account. We can always switch things around on YouTube. So if you do YouTube wrong, it's okay. I can fix just about anything on there. And I have multiple channels and everything, but YouTube there's a lot to do on YouTube to help fine tune and help increase your, I don't want to say conversions, but let's say that you have multiple products that complement each other. Yeah, you can use YouTube to make sure that, how at the end of a video, they go, oh yeah, here's the next video up, right? No, I'm not talking anything about on ours. On YouTube, they have to be your videos in order to do this. Maybe not, but still, we're driving traffic to our site. And what you do is you create a channel, and then you create a playlist, and the playlist will make it so that they watch yours in order, right? So instead of you playing a video and then them going on to something that complements it, that's your competitor, you basically put them in a loop of your own videos, which is pretty neat. And we'll talk more about that again. We'll spread that out. We might sneak it in the middle somewhere, but for the most part, let's focus on Facebook and Twitter next week, because Twitter is one that it does count. We know it does. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot like that. Okay, so then again, to do this week, if set up as many accounts as you want, go top to bottom on that one, except for YouTube. Try to get that one in as soon as you can. If you're still shy about videos, that's okay. We'll talk more about it, and I'll maybe do some supplementary videos. And once I'm still working on getting the members area up, it's going to take some time because it's a lot of work, but I'll get there. So once if you already have accounts, make sure you familiarize yourself with any settings. There's lots of different nuances to each one of these platforms. If you know where you can click, it helps. So just click around. Don't be afraid. You're not going to break their site. I can't think of anything other than you could click somewhere you don't want to go. We have all done that before, I'm sure. So if you have any more questions on that, go ahead and throw them up there. And then I'm going to go ahead and start on Chatbots because we're already about halfway through where I need to end. So let's talk quickly what are Chatbots. And again, I think most of you have already heard about this, but this is going to be for the replay as well. So Chatbots are software programs that help you engage and interact with fans. So the most common chatbots in the market right now are in Facebook, and that's mostly because Facebook back in 2016 and the beginning of 2017 opened up their API to specifically work with chatbots. So when people say, oh, Facebook doesn't like chatbots, they're crazy. Facebook specifically announced that they were going to do this, they built the API specifically to integrate with chatbots. And in fact, they promoted a couple of them that cost quite a bit of money to to be the primary ones. So Facebook wants you to use the software to help. And a large part of that, of course, is, frequently asked questions and everything else. And we'll talk more about that in the features. So the Facebook chatbots utilize the Facebook Messenger platform. That's where it works through, right? So when you send a message to somebody, kind of like, the inbox for it, that Messenger platform is actually a standalone platform. So Facebook is its own and integrates with Messenger. So theoretically, somebody on their smartphone can have just the Messenger app and not the Facebook app. And that's because the Messenger platform is its own independent. It ties in. They're obviously compatible and everything, but because it has its own standalone app and everything else, that API can integrate with people's software. So that's how that works. If that doesn't mean a whole lot to you, that's okay. Just understand it goes through Messenger. And of course, people use it to deliver content, ask questions, and interact with their audience in a bunch of different ways. Let's see here. Okay, so you eventually need a chatbot. That's just the inevitable. This is the way it's going. The costs of manual labor, yours or paying someone, far surpass the cost of any of the chatbots on the market when you get to a certain level. So right now, when you're getting started and you want to learn it and you want to be, get your hands dirty and everything, that's fine. Eventually you're going to need a chatbot. So whether it's today or a year from now, that's up to however you grow your business. But chatbots help you create systems. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Robert Kiyosaki. That I'm not a big, huge fan of his whole real estate crap school stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's great. Probably made lots of people millionaires, but they have definitely got a con system to get you into that. But his whole discussion on this of systems is very, very, very good. And it goes back to my specialty, actually, in business continuity. For those who don't know, I'm working on a PhD. I'm in my dissertation phase, and my focus is on business continuity planning. Chatbots should be a part of your business continuity strategy, and here's why. So you're doing the manual labor right now. I know Linda's doing a lot of manual labor. So you're doing all of it right now. Let's say you get sick or you cannot do something for 24 hours. You've just lost all momentum for everybody who had any type of activity on there because you can no longer reach out to them. It's been past that 24 hours. So a chatbot can reach out and start that conversation for you when you're not there. And then if you need to step in at some point, and depending on the chatbot is when you can step in. So there's a lot of different methods on how to do it, but basically you're ultimately going to need a chatbot at some point. It's the only way to keep your business to a solid foundation and keep it going. So when you're not there, you can keep doing things. You tell it, Linda. And she asked, how does it know what to say? You tell it, basically. There's a couple of them out there, and in Chatbots, actually even one that says this now, his new stuff that's coming out, which I don't know when it's coming out. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but they talk about artificial intelligence, but it's not really artificial intelligence because these chatbots can't think for themselves. So instead, what you do is you create like a keyword. So if somebody says, do you have a size 6 in this? Then you can say, oh yeah, you can say, check out our inventory here or whatever, whatever it is. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve and a little bit of time invested in that, but it just depends. So like for right now, if somebody on any one of mine, and I'll show you guys this, if anybody comments on any one of my posts, they'll get an automatic message. Now, sometimes it just says, oh, hey, like our page and share with others. You share the post with others. But I'm going to shift all of that eventually. I've got like, you've seen how many pages I have, like a gajillion of them. I'm going to shift all of that eventually to say something else, like sign up for our broadcast messages or something, because the changes with Facebook have now made it that liking your page isn't nearly as important as having people sign up to your chatbot or to your broadcast. So you can now send them a message. So, if you get a text message that says, hey, today's a sale, let's say you sign up for Kohl's, for example, Kohl's will send you, wait, is it Kohl's? I don't know. Maybe I don't get it from Kohl's. Maybe I get it from Joann's. So Joann's says, oh, hey, we've got this coupon for you. And they send me a text message, once, twice a month, something like that. When they run a contest, they send me a text message. And so it's the same thing, but most people now don't want to give away their phone number for a text message. And then even when they do, let's say they change their phone number, then you no longer have a way to contact them. Well, Messenger is on their phone. If they sign up for the next Messenger, they just log in, they get a new phone. Okay. They get a new phone number. That's okay. They're still attached to the same Facebook page, still get the Messenger. So Messenger basically is the next, it's kind of like a combo between email and text messaging. It's like the best of both worlds. And I anticipate that there are going to be some rules coming out on this. It was funny, on a side note, I was listening to somebody talk about Facebook, and they said, well, you can't have multiple accounts. It's illegal. And I'm going, man, if we live in a world where Facebook starts making laws, I am moving. I don't know what world I'm moving to, but Facebook is not making laws. So I had to laugh because I'm like, it's not illegal. It's against their terms of service, but the only thing they can do is shut down your account. They can't like sue you, or they can't, it depends on what you've done, but it's not illegal. You're not going to go to jail because you make multiple accounts. So same thing here. Chatbots, there's going to be some rules within the system, but you're not going to go to jail unless you like con people, unless you actually break a real law. So Facebook doesn't make laws. They just make their own little rules for their system. But chatbots are not frowned upon. They're not. They are specifically encouraged by Facebook, and that's because Facebook knows that, especially for businesses, that interaction is critical. And so that having that ability to open up that is something that is money making for them. Not only that, but they're running ads on Messenger now, so they want people using it. And if that means a business uses a software program so that they open that up to offer, so that Facebook can put ads in there, that's fine. They're happy with that. So right now, it's, again, like I said, they're not frowned upon, but how you use them can get you in trouble. And so that's the one thing I want to caution you about when we start talking about chatbots, is that it's how you use them that gets you in trouble, not the use of them. So some of the general features, and of course, I've talked about this in prior ones. I'm a huge chatbot fan, so everybody knows I love chatbots. One of the key features are response. So a response goes automatically when there's a comment. Yeah, so Brian, that only works if you have a business ad account, and you should already have them already created. So yeah, I mean, Brian, you came in way late. So last year, after Trex got started, we had a long discussion about this, because Trex was saying, oh yeah, you should just be using your personal ad account from day one. And from day one, I've been saying, no, you should not be using your personal ad account, because that can cause problems with your personal account. Nobody knows really what happens when they shut down your personal ad account. I mean, I don't know of anybody who's actually had their personal ad account done, but you open a business one, you can open up multiple accounts. One gets shut down or something happens to it, you have a second one. You can, as long as you share your audience beforehand, you can have access to the audience and everything else. So yeah, there's a huge advantage to having a second ad account, but they don't like you to have a second Facebook personal account, which is what gives you access to everything. And to be honest, I have like 4. And it wasn't on purpose. It's because they were not very clear. When I went in to sign up for a business account and I was not signed in, I was like, oh, I think I have to create a new one. So I had 4. I just have never shut any of them down because I don't know how, nor do I care. I like to use them to show examples of stuff. And if Facebook doesn't like that, they can call me or shut them down. I don't use them, so it's not like. Yeah, Brian, I'm worried about when I lose mine, because it seems like it's inevitable. Anybody who gets into doing any type of business on Facebook seems to be that eventually they get targeted for some reason. Travis Stevenson, who's the owner of Chatmatic, he actually got his shut down, and it had nothing to do with Chatmatic, by the way. It had to do with him being an admin on an account for somebody. He was just an admin just to look at their flow and to basically consult on their ads. And I guess they sold the account, that page, to somebody else, and something happened where they're like, oh, you're spamming me. Yeah, because you don't. Now, Brian, the reason why they told you to create another personal account is because they're too freaking lazy to do their job, 1. And 2, it's because they shut down your personal account. You no longer have one. So now you just open a new one and you still only have 1. So that's what it means. You just have 1. That's what they want. They want you to have 1 at a time. And, they're not, if they shut it down, even though they tell you could be banned from Facebook or whatever, I think that's more to scare you. So that's their whole thing. They just don't want you to have more than 1. And I think if you were to contact them and say, hey, you know what, I think I accidentally have 2 of these. What do I do? Because I think I have a Facebook page that I cannot get into because it's linked to an email that was shut down like years ago, and there's no way to get into it. So I've just finally, that's why I'm on the one I'm on now, is I created that one, and I was like, that's okay. Everybody linked to the old one I didn't know, or like, that was like years ago. That was like when I first got started. That was interesting. So let's look at some chatbots. All right, let me pull up. So, you know, I've shown Chatmatic off a little bit, and I'm going to tell you now, Chatmatic is expensive. And part of the reason why, oh, I'm on the wrong page. Wait, what is this one? Yeah, let's see if he still has it on here. He used to have the pricing on here. Yeah, so he's still talking about the lifetime payment here, right? Which is hilarious because he does not even promote the lifetime payment. In fact, when you try to buy through his page, you can't even get the lifetime payment. It just cracks me up. So anyway, I still have the lifetime payment, but like I said, the part of my problem with Chatmatic right now is it's in limbo. So he's doing all these updates and he's giving us all this information, telling us to be hush hush about it and not to tell people. And then he's like, oh, well, we're going to launch in January. Well, he launched in December, and then he was going to launch again with the new model in January, and it hasn't happened. And now it's, well, we're looking at implementing the new updates in February. So not only, like, I'm already an affiliate, so I can still promote Chatmatic, but I can only promote Chatmatic in its current version. And he is unclear on how that's going to translate to the new version. So that's where I'm like a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say leery, but I'm a little bit worried that when you get into Chatmatic that it's going to be different than what you're actually buying. So the cost right now is they have a $9.97 option, and I'll show you exactly. Pay Kickstart. This is the affiliate thing. So if you want the $9.97 one-time pay, and this is just to show you guys up front. Yeah, Sandra, exactly. You see what I'm saying here? When he starts talking about stuff, right? So he starts talking about this stuff, and you go, okay, that sounds weird. That sounds weird. You know, you say lifetime, and now he's saying, well, lifetime for unlimited pages, and now he's saying, well, now I'm going to cap it, and now it's going to be, and he's changing it. So I'm a little bit worried. And here's where I was telling you guys this on Monday. I found a different one, and the reason why I like it is because it gives you more options. So I'm just going to show you guys a couple of these, and then let me just show you. So they've got, so they have the $11.97, which is a multi-pay option, and then they have the $9.97 one pay, and then it's $97 a month. I agree, Sandra, completely. And that's where I'm a little bit, I haven't been pushing Chatmatic as much. I like Chatmatic. I think it's very clean, and I'll show you why. So Chatmatic right now is very easy, and this is going to change. He's been showing us the new platform for like months. But anyway, so it's really easy. You just go in, you connect your pages, which actually is on this page. You would connect it on this page. And then you can go in and you can add post triggers, and you can also collect emails. Now this button is basically general, so I can click anywhere. And I showed you guys how to do this, where you can put in a URL, and then you create the link, throw in a shortener, and then you can capture people's emails. But the only thing you get to see on that, and that's here, you can see I haven't been doing much with this one, is where you collect the email, and that's it. So you got the name and the email. And if somebody comments, you can still see that who commented, but you don't collect any other information. Now that's in part because of Facebook's rules. So there's some hype about, oh, if somebody comments on your post, that you can all of a sudden blast out stuff. That's not, there's no truth in that. You have 24 hours. If somebody comments on your post, this is per Facebook rules, you have 24 hours to reach out to them because they've engaged with you. So that's where a chatbot comes in handy. Is, let's say, you know, you're running something on a page. Go to, man, this is going slow. No, that's not where I wanted to go. So let's go to my Baker site. Okay, so let's say somebody comes in here and they comment on one of these, and I want to have them comment. So I have a post, right? In fact, I have this post right here. So I have this post here, and I want them to comment on it. So I would go into the page, which is, I go into the post triggers, and I can create whatever I want in here. So because this is a public post, I just can click right here, and I can put whatever I want them to say when they reply. So if I put in here, if I said comment below to get, 10% off, then I could put the coupon code for 10% off here. Now, one of the rules that's been clarified since then is that if you're going to send them a message, you're supposed to tell them. So you would say comment below and we'll message you a coupon for 10% off or something like that. You have to clarify that. So I don't have one specifically triggered to this. So it's just going to be the general one they get. And it says, thanks for the comment. Don't forget to sign up for messenger notifications to find out about our next giveaway. And to be honest, I haven't been doing the giveaways. So they keep signing up, but I'm not sending the messages either. So there's like nothing wrong. There's nothing illegitimate with them saying that. The last giveaway I did was in December. I'll probably do another one in like Easter or something. So I can make individual ones or I can make a general one. It makes it really nice. It's nice and clean in here, right? So I've got this capability. Then this is auto reply to post triggers. So if somebody comments, they get a reply. That's the one feature. Then, of course, the second feature was the buttons that I talked about that capture the emails. And the third feature is one that he calls it campaigns in here. And let's see, when they sign up for notifications, they come to this page here. Oh, I always click the wrong button when I do that. Every time. I'm a clicker. I know it. Okay, edit. This is what they'll see. They'll see this over here. And they click this, basically send the messenger button here, and they sign up and they come into my subscriber list, right? So I come into my, they'll come into my campaign subscribers, which this is where it gets confusing. And he's cleaning all this up. And he's got training on everything. But you go into the campaigns and I can now broadcast to 115 people. I can come in here and create a broadcast message that goes out to every single one of these. There is some question onto how many people receive it, and I don't know. According to Travis, he says that, he has thousands of people on his and he has like a 96% open rate or something, which is what's really nice. Because again, it's like that text messaging email combination, right? You're going to do a quick, brief message to them, and then they're going to open it on their phone, on their computer, whatever, when they're on Facebook, when they're not on Facebook, etc. So that's what makes the chatbot really great. And what makes Chatmatic nice is that it's all together. So all of those things are all together. So that's where, but again, the price that he's going to and the price that he said the last time he promoted this was $997 a year, but it was for agency access unlimited. From what I understand, when he relaunches, he's going to go to $597 a year for one single page, which is not that great because I'm pretty sure all of us are going to have multiple pages at some point. So anyway, that's Chatmatic. It is there. I like it because it's stable. And what I mean by stable is that if he's collecting $997 a year from, hundreds of people, which this is not accurate, by the way, none of these numbers are right. If he's taking, getting, $1,000, even if he's only getting half of that because he's gave away half of it for affiliate marketing or something, then he's still collecting $500 a year from people who are using it, and it's going to be an ongoing, he could pay for the maintenance of it. It looks like it's going to be a stable long-term solution. But at that price, I go, well, I mean, I'm lucky. I've got the one time I can at least link 10 of my accounts here. So I just focus my 10 money makers if I wanted to just use this. However, these new ones came out, and I haven't had a chance to play with all of them, but it's, let's see if we can get in. Okay, so this is called Funnel Messenger, and the selling page, by the way, is much better. And I don't know if I still have access to that, because now in order to buy Funnel Messenger or Shop Messenger, you have to buy it from somebody who resells it like me. And like I said, I'm working on this one being a lot cheaper. So this one, what you can do, I wish they had a freaking, this one works outside of Facebook. So you have this widget, and I know a lot of you guys are new to online stuff. So let me think of a site that does a pop-up. Anybody think of a site that has a pop-up that asks you to sign up for something? I think actually my friend Dan has it. Realtor, yeah, Realtor Dan Garza. Okay, Realtor Daniel Garza.com. So when somebody goes to a page, so let's say they're going to your page, and remember they have pop-ups, right? So we have the option if they are going to close out of the page, it's going to have a pop-up. Well, the idea is, his does have a pop-up somewhere. The site goes so slow. Yeah, so it has this register for information here, and this is a button link right here. So he can collect emails right there, but otherwise he collects emails here. And of course, real estate in general. Oh, you have one to look at? Okay, wait, let's look at that one. .com, I did it right. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so this is what they call, well, it's called a pop-up, but there's a type of advertising terminology for it. It's basically when it's interruption is what it is. It interrupts your experience, right? And that's now what it's very annoying too, right? So you're going along, you're going, oh crap, this pops up. Now they want my email. Okay, great. I mean, we need people to sign up. So from the, website owner's perspective, we need to do this. But the problem is that this is getting more and more restricted. Google hates it. In fact, if you have this on your site, this hurts your search engine optimization. Facebook doesn't like it. If they go and they check it manually, or they get enough complaints or whatever, then they can shut down your ad if you're running an ad. Because if you do it as a regular post, there's nothing they can do about it. But so they don't like when you have a pop-up on your page when you first get there. They also don't like it when you exit. So that was interesting that we've been able to get away with it on Trex. So they don't like the pop-ups because they interrupt the experience. And so Facebook, Google, all of these places that are, these big things are saying, hey, no. If you're telling people they can go to your site to get this content, you can't try to trick them into giving you something. And in fact, my friend Dan, who's the realtor, he had a link, and I don't know, he doesn't even know how he did it, but it basically made it content blocked, so you could not get the content without typing your email in. And I said, you can't do that. And I said, you can, people are never going to sign up. Nobody does that anymore. These people are way more leery of doing this. No, so Linda, on Trex, there's a capability, and we'll talk more about this on Monday, but on Trex, there's a capability where you can have an exit pop-up, where let's say you want to give them before they leave, hey, wait, take 10% off. It's extremely annoying because it's sensitive. And so if you just scroll around to the wrong place at all, it pops up. So the idea is that if they're going to X out of, so let's say this didn't pop up, and I'm just like, okay, wait, you know what? I'm going to get off the site. As soon as I would get up here on Trex, I wouldn't use it, especially if you're running ads to the page. I wouldn't do it because there is a high risk of you having your ad shut down because of the exit pop-up. Facebook doesn't like it. It's against their terms of service. So yeah, for ads, if you're running a separate post to one you're not running ads to, you're allowed to do it on that one, but you're not allowed to do it when you're running ads. So, let's say that if I were on this site and they had an exit pop-up, I would go up to X out of it, and it would pop up and say, hey, wait, before you go. And now I have to, and oh my gosh, and sometimes they will lock it so you can't do anything. Those are against all terms of service everywhere. But I don't even know how they do it. Those are very annoying. So you can't even X out of the site. You have to X out of it first before you go. Or sometimes you have to Control-Alt-Delete and shut down your browser. It's so annoying. I hate those. In fact, when I find those, I'm so tempted to go in there and like reverse SEO bash them, which is where you make it so that like all the porn sites point to them. I've never done that, but I'm tempted to sometimes when that happens. Not that I know how, I'd have to look it up. But so like this one here, in fact, I can't do anything. It's a content block. There's no Xing out of it. There's nothing. I have to hit this button, or I can hit the back on this one. I can hit the back one. So it's very annoying, those content blocks. So pop-ups in general, again, being intrusive and invasive and annoying, that's where they have this, and like I said, I'm going to have to do more justice with this, but you can create I was trying to do it on Trex. That's why I didn't get very far. I was trying to put this on our site, and it's not working. But basically where you can come in and you can have it so that it goes, let me see if I can find, we can shut down Chatmatic. Actually, I think they have a site, funnelmessenger.com. I think it shows it. We're going to mute it though. Maybe. There's no mute button. So they have where it will be, can I pause it? Anyway, so basically it does a little pop-up instead. and it says, it has a little pop-up here, and it lets you engage with them that way. But like I said, the problem with the funnel messenger is that it's funnel messenger, shot messenger, do the two. So remember, let me go back here into the, yeah, here we go. So response automatically to comments, that is shot messenger, right? And then get subscribers to messenger broadcasts and broadcast to them, that is funnel messenger. So now, remember I told you Chatmatic does all three of these. Now for this, you have to have 3 different programs, and this one's called Social Jacker. And I am a reseller for this one and this one right now. I will be a reseller for this one, but it's still open. In fact, I think I can give you guys a link if you want to see it. I like, and this is the one I was telling you guys about that I totally like, the Social Jacker one. It's super cool. I'll pull up the page for you just a second. Okay. This is what happens when you have like 75 things open, by the way. So what I like about, so in Chatmatic, you can capture just the email. In Social Jacker, you can capture, oops, I'm in the wrong section. You can capture a heck of a lot more to information. So let's say, you know, you want to do a lookalike audience or something. You could create a lookalike audience from it because you have information. So if you know that your audience is a specific age or whatever, I mean, there's a lot of different things. The only thing with Social Jacker, which annoys me, is that it doesn't come as all one. I will put it up here, and I will put the Social Jacker in case anybody wants to check it out. That's the Social Jacker. That is an affiliate link, by the way. And the other ones, I have to do a reseller thing. So if you want to look at them, it's Funnel Messenger. I'm sure funnelmessenger.com and shopmessenger.com. And I'll type that. I think, well, actually, let me make sure you guys can all look. So we said Funnel Messenger. That is one. And that's the one that I resell. And then, yeah, I think this is the other one. It didn't make me sign into the app. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have a front page for this one. So that's Shot Messenger is the one that does, what did I say? That's the one where you can reply to comments. Now, the thing about Shot Messenger is whereas in Chatmatic, you could have them, whatever they type right now, it replies no matter what they type. So if somebody types in there, you're a jerk, and you don't really want to send them a message, in Chatmatic, it would automatically send them a message. In Shot Messenger, you can restrict that. And there's some people had asked about ManyChat, and I'm going to tell you now that ManyChat is supposedly a really good one, and I don't resell them. But the problem is that they're pricey. So ManyChat is pretty expensive. So, ooh, they do have a free option though. Yeah, it's not, their free one's not very good. So then they look at how many, it's based on number of subscribers. That's annoying. So your basic one is at $10 a month, and that's for 500 subscribers. So the minute you get, which I don't even have 500 subscribers, but I have heard that ManyChat's been under attack, and I don't know why, but something happened. I know, Linda. I don't. It's because it's an affiliate link. I don't know why. Here, I'll show you. Didn't I go to it? Yeah, right here. This is it right here. This is the link that I did. It goes to Social Jacker. So it's just McAfee knows it's an affiliate link and blocks it. That's why I have to be, when I do my web page, that's why I'm doing a members area, is to make it so that I can make the link safer, and I can make the link not say this whole JVZ da da da. So yeah, so this one is the one, and in fact, out of all of these, I would say that if you're not ready for a chatbot, I'd jump on this one at least, because you can get people's email information. Now, the caution, and I'll go back to what I said before, it's not the chatbots that are problematic, it's how you use it. So the one thing I do not like about Social Jacker is their training. Now, it's interesting the way they use it, but even their examples they have here, I sit there and go, yeah, that's actually kind of sketch. So the way they use it, I don't like, but we have plenty of capabilities to use it our way. I have not tried putting this on our site yet, or working with our site. And in fact, this one, you don't even have to use, like you can use other people's content and try to capture emails and everything else. So this one's really great, of course, for affiliate marketers, but for e-commerce people, it would be, again, these are going to be lower quality leads, but if you can get their emails and you can get their, somehow get them into the Facebook funnel, then you're going to have a better chance of increasing your capabilities of marketing to them. And because keep in mind, we've talked about this before, is that when you're doing paid ads, you almost never have a profit. Even with the best of funnels, you're going to have a really low profit at the best. So email and free traffic are going to be in fact, email is pretty much the only other way after the people have purchased that you can drive them back to your page, get them to buy stuff for free. Otherwise it's retargeting. And while that might be cheaper and yeah, you can make money doing it just off ads, it's going to take a very long time to grow that way. So you need to be capturing the emails to be doing email marketing. And we will be talking about email marketing after we finish up with search engine optimization, because email marketing is a huge beast. So, I mean, like literally, I think you can go through like 6 years and never learn it all. I don't even know it all, but I do know that you need to have the emails. So that's why I like Social Jacker out of all three. No, on Social Jacker, Joanne, this is going to be the best deal right now. I don't know what they're going to require us. I will be what they call a reseller, but from what I understand, it's going to be the exact same price. And we're going to do the exact same process. It'll be through this exact same link and everything. And for the other two, I'll double check, because if there's still the affiliate link, that's going to be the better price. But this one for Social Jacker, let's see I think it's capped. Like right now, it's not going to go any higher than this, even though it says it is. It's not. So the front one's $49.95, and then let me see. I recommend it. I think the first upsell, which is not very expensive. It is Social Jacker Pro Unlimited. Let me look at that one. Yeah, so then the second one would be $37. Now, these are one-time payments. This one's Social Jacker. So the link that I put in here, wait, let me double check it. Yeah, this one's Social Jacker. That one's Social Jacker, Linda, and that one is the one that is right here. It's the $49.95 for the first one. And like I said, don't ignore the timer because it just stays at $49.95. And then, oh, wait, it says after January 31st, the software will move to a monthly fee. Okay, that's what's supposed to happen with Recastly, but I'm going to tell you, these guys are never on top of it. So hopefully it'll stay. But look at it. Take a look at it. If you think, hey, I'm never going to get into email marketing, and it's just, ooh, look. POTD20 to get $20 off instantly. So it'll be $29.95. Sorry, it'll be $29.95 for the front end. And then I would do the first upsell of the $37 so you can get unlimited campaigns and unlimited everything. And then anything past that is just, now you're being me and buying it because you're a software freak. And that's what I did. And of course, I bought the whole reseller rights and everything else. But that's because I see the potential, not based on their training, but this one's really good for capturing email and information. So the other two, let's see, what did I say? So the shot messenger and the funnel messenger, right? So like I said, Chatbots will do all three of these. Yes, Joanne, it does work with MailChimp. In fact, let me log into my back end of Social Jacker if I can remember how to get into it. I may not be able to get into it yet. I might have to get on my other computer. Well, anyway, they showed it and they said, yes, it does integrate with MailChimp. Oh, I was looking. Oh, that's what it was. I did log in. Where did I log in at? So take a look at it, because remember, I've been trying to review all of these, so I'm hoping I'm saying this all right. Auto replies, messages, and bot-like interaction. Yeah. So the auto replies, Maybe this is not the one. Wait, stop, hold on. This is not helpful when they do it like this. Yeah, email list. Okay, I'm right. Whew, I almost made myself confused when they said bot-like. I was like, what? No, so yeah, build your email list. This is exactly the one. Okay, good. So before I was really worried about these other two, Funnel Messenger and Shot Messenger, because I'm such an email freak. Yes, do the $29.95 and then the upsell for $37, and those are lifetime. Those are lifetime, and that's the reason why I like when you buy them on the launches, you can usually get lifetime access, because what'll happen now is, like, some of these will relaunch again and you get access to them again. Some of them won't. And a perfect example of that is videos. Like, I have, actually, no, they still do a one-time buy, but I got it for like a lot cheaper. Oh, Doodly. So Doodly is one that I have. That sketch one, I bought it years ago when it first came out, and I got a lifetime access to it. You cannot buy Doodly for lifetime access anymore. So that's why when I find these, I jump on them, because even though everybody's like, oh yeah, you're just getting something that's not sustainable and blah, blah, blah. If I buy 10 of these and 8 of them are stay in business and 2 of them don't, I don't care, because the 2 that don't stay in business, I probably wouldn't want them anyway, past whatever it was. And it's usually cheap enough. I don't care. But you do end up getting a few that are bad apples, but these guys have been around for a while. They have a bunch of software programs, so I think they'll be fine. And they're going to go monthly, so then everybody else who pays monthly will pay for our stuff, right? But like I said, the Social Jacker, and then the other 2, I'll double check and see if I can get. We actually look and see if they have it. I think they actually pulled it off of the list, but let me look and see. Seriously, I cannot click on the right one. Find. We're going to do funnel. Yep, looks like it's not there anymore. Actually, there's a lot of funnels in here. I could just be missing it. Let me type funnel messenger, see if that narrows down. Nope. Yeah, so it's not there. So they already pulled the other ones off, the funnel messenger and the shot messenger. They already pulled off the link. So, okay, Linda, thank you. Yeah, Linda, I think that's what they said. You can risk it, and like I said, I do have the reseller rights, and it should stay at the $49.95 at least. I don't know if we'll get to keep the $20 off or not, but go to church. Message me later if you need to ask questions or anything. I've been playing, like I said, I've been playing with these. I've been trying to put them in with my all-time find site as much as possible, but the biggest problem with those is that, of course, if it's made for WordPress, it's not made for Trex. So I have to tweak everything and figure it all out. But the good news is that I have something else that I can give you guys for just everybody who comes normally. If we end up not being able to get the Trex site to work right, we can basically supplement it with this other thing that I have. That's a hosting site. So that'll be, we'll figure it all out. But like I said, the other 2, I'm trying to get it so that the pricing on them for Funnel Messenger and Shot Messenger is going to be like $10 a month, and it would be unlimited everything. That's what I'm trying to aim for. And I just have to set it up. And that's the problem right now, is that in order to set it up, it's going to cost me more than it is to collect the $10 a month. So I have to get the right platform in order to do that. And that's where we have to figure out the best solution. So to make it as cheap as possible to get that, $10 a month or like $100 a year or whatever, it's going to be, I have to figure it out. That's where I'm stuck at. And then I'm hoping to get that by the end of this week. And I'll show you guys, like I said, go to funnelmessenger.com and you'll see that one better. But I'll show you guys Shot Messenger and some videos once I get it to work on. I may not get it to work on all-time finds, so on the Trex site. But that's okay, because like I said, I've got another resource, and I might as well just do it on that one to start with, to show you guys how to do it. And that will help. But they're really cool. And being able to integrate with Chatmatic currently cannot go on other pages. And if you saw that when I was on Funnel Messenger, that they works on all kinds of websites, right? I mean, so you can put this in and make it has a little pop-up that comes up and interacts with them. And that's going to be a lot better for capturing their info. You give them your, oh yeah, get your free blah, 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 click here, right? I mean, it's pretty cool. So check this out. If it's something you're like, oh, hey, Kim, I really want to know more. I really want to get involved in this. I might be able to fudge it. And what I might do, if you guys are interested and want to just play with it to get started, is that I'll give you guys access to it. And then, because I'm sure I'm allowed to do a 30-day free trial. So what I could do is set up an account for you and just reach out to me through Messenger. I'll set up an account for you. It'll send you all the details and everything else. And then that'll give me whatever, 30 days to fine tune however the heck I have to do the payment. And maybe then I can fudge another month for free. So I think that's what I'll end up having to do, because it's going to take some time. My husband's trying to help me figure out the best way, because our business, so our security company can process stuff, but then the paperwork trail is not there. So we don't have any paperwork to process this through the security company, and it's kind of weird. So I'm pretty sure our accountant would have a field day. So I got to figure out, PayPal can do it, but then they're going to charge me an arm and a leg, and I think Stripe can do it, and I don't think they charge me an arm and a leg. So I'm trying to work on it through Stripe. No, they don't. But let me double check on that, Sandra. If they do, then you wouldn't need Funnel Messenger. I would say eventually all of them, all three, based on what I've seen. Like I said, the way that I interpret them all, playing with them, is that Shot Messenger is for comments on your pages, right? Funnel Messenger is specifically for messenger broadcasts. So when it's on the page like that and they say, oh, hey, yeah, I want to sign up for it, then, or if they want to do something, they're going to go into your broadcast messenger list. Whereas Social Jacker captures their email. So I haven't figured out how to do both yet on the page, but I think we should be able to do both. And maybe it's different offers, where you start with one and then you get them onto the other one. So I would say eventually we're going to need all three. But like I said, the Shot Messenger and the Funnel Messenger, I should be able to combine together. Yeah, I was trying to, but I will not be able to bundle Social Jacker. I just found that out yesterday. I was trying to go through and figure it out. And then when I saw what they were doing, and I was like, oh, crap, I'm not going to be able to bundle it. So that's why I say buy Social Jacker now at the one-time price, and I will bundle Shot Messenger and Funnel Messenger together, hopefully at the $10 a month. That's what I'm trying to do, just for you guys. Eventually, I'll have to charge a lot more, because that's just the way a sustainable business is. But for you guys, where you're helping me figure it all out and get it all sorted, I'm going to do it as cheap as I can. And like I said, there'll be like a one annual discount one or something too. I have to go through the contracts and make sure, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. They have a really low minimum, and then they didn't say I had to, because these are from the same company. So they didn't say I had to separately charge for them. Since I bought them together, I'm like, well, it makes sense to me that I sell them together. So I'm trying to make it the best possible deal. It's the same thing. Like, I have a lifetime hosting package. Now, I bought a bunch of them, and so I will give those to you guys for free. But when I sell them, I have a contracted price, and that minimum price is like $19. Well, that's going to be the minimum price I bring into lead generation source. But if I'm out trying to sell it through, advertising and everything else, I can't charge $19. So I had to charge more. But that's what the whole point is, to bring the membership area and all of us who are working together to build this, bring it to you guys the cheapest price possible, and to let you know in advance. Like, if I had seen Shot Messenger and Funnel Messenger prior to the last day of their launch, I would have totally had you guys hop on, because they're super cheap. But unfortunately, now, they're closed now. So I have to follow whatever rules I signed up for. And they don't tell you all the rules until later. I've been finding that. I like Recastly, but that one's still on there. So I'll do some more videos for you guys. Yesterday I was really sick. Otherwise I would have got some done. But today is not as bad with my allergies. I'm not contagious on the computer, I swear. The last time I ever got somebody sick over the computer was, let's see, I had a friend that was in the military, and I made him sick. But not like I just made him sick. I don't know how. I just said it and he got sick. Yeah, we were over an hour. So, okay, anyway, so we covered that. I want to go more into detail with, especially when we're in Facebook later on, not right now, but I would like us to go into more of the chatbot, because I know everybody gets really discouraged with the whole, okay, I bought a system and I want it to work. The reality is that we have to set up our systems. We have to set up our systems. So once we get our systems in place and we get these things working for us, that'll help us expand, okay? So go ahead and shoot me questions in Messenger, or if you want to post it in the groups, in either of the groups, that's fine. And then we'll keep expanding all these. So let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to focus on anything else. And I said next week we will do what I said we would do. We'll focus a little bit on Facebook, and then we'll do mostly Twitter next week. Joanne, there's I don't know that there's a capability on Trex for it, but because they promoted both. They've promoted both Chatmatic and what's the other one? I looked it up. It's like $97 a month or something like that. It's Trust Message. Yeah, this is the one that Trust Message, right? That's not there. That's not right. I can't remember their exact domain. Seriously, Trust Message Chatbot. Okay, it was called Trust Message. I don't know where it is. That's interesting. We looked it up at the trustmessage.com, like that. Ooh, I'm good. That's it. Yeah. So this is the one that they've actually said that they're like, oh yeah, do this, blah, blah, blah. But when you go and you sign up, you find out that it's like $97 a month or something like that. Yeah, $97.97 monthly, and you're restricted. You only get 10,000 messages monthly, which of course, if any of us didn't have a chatbot and this is one we had to go with, we'd be on the $97.97 for a very long time. However, at $97.97 monthly, that's freaking expensive when you don't know what you're doing. And so that's why I said, I found the resources. I think we can still do basically the same stuff with these. It might be a tad bit more work learning it on the upfront part, but after we learn it and we know what we're doing, I think we could do a lot more with these other ones. And for us, I want to keep it nice and cheap. But later on, I'll charge people what I need to charge, because I'm gonna eventually have to hire somebody to deal with that. So this is the one that they promote, and I don't know. Somebody had mentioned that there's a special price if you went to their thing. I never went, so I don't know. And honestly, there's at $97.97. That's what Chatmatic is. I'd rather also get emails. Yes, the Social Jacker will work on, especially if you get that. I don't know about the basic one, but when you do that upgrade, you can basically do unlimited everything on everywhere. And in fact, Social Jacker doesn't, I don't even think it has to be on your site. Like the way it's called Jacker is that it's taking the content from somebody else's site and you can put it on there, but you can put it on your site. So I have to play with it a little bit more, but oh yeah, it definitely works. And that's why I said I wish I could get into it, but for some reason I can't remember the login. It's on my laptop. So unfortunately I can't get into it, but I can do some more videos and stuff. But I seriously, for emails, like I said, Chatmatic, it's even at $5.97 a year, even if you divide that out, and again, that's only going to be for one. So that's going to be $50 a month for Chatmatic. If you were to divide that out into 12, there's a minimum of $50 a month. And then this one's $100. And I'm like, crap. I mean, if you can get a one-time payment with Social Jacker right now, I would totally do it. I do not know if they're going to keep it as a one-time payment afterwards or not. That's the only thing. They haven't told us anything about the reseller. They just told us that we can sign up for it. And if I don't read the fine print, I just sign up because I wanted to sell it because it's cool. And I am a software freak. I really like software. It's fun. And it helps. I kid you not. Like I said, I'm in business. Business continuity is my thing lately. And when you look at this, you got to build the systems. And if you're spending like 8 days responding to people, what else are you doing? It's going to be, let me see. They said, oh, this is Trust Message anyway. Again, like I said, I'm not all that versed in it quite yet, but it takes some of the Facebook email, right? So it doesn't work just on Facebook. It works on other sites, I believe. Let me look. Here, hold on. He's got the video here. They show kind of like a how-to on here. Yeah, so this is where this is like a different page. Obviously, this is not a Facebook page on here. And then this is the pop-up they put on there. Win a year's supply of free protein. Well, and the button link it's gonna be the same concept, right? So the button link, and this is where I've been a little bit worried about Chatmatic. So in Chatmatic, the way the button link works is that somebody clicks on it and they automatically say, oh yeah, oh, I want to go. It's basically a content blocker, right? And I just told you, Facebook doesn't like content blockers. So even though somebody can X out of it and not give their information, I have my suspicions that that is going to get stopped eventually. And the reason why is because that's not the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work the way it works on Dan's site. This is the way the button link is supposed to work, is when you go onto somebody's site. His site is so slow. I did an analysis for him. He got so mad. Not at me, because I didn't do his site, but he got mad at the people who do his site. So if you come on here, this is the way the button link is supposed to work. I'm on his site, and if it ever loads, and then it pops up, and here's the email, right? This is the button link. That's how it's supposed to work. And all of the training that Travis gave us before recently was, oh yeah, all you do is put the link in or in Facebook, and you'll be able to capture their emails. So like I said, the problem with that is that's not the way it's supposed to work. So eventually I think Facebook's going to shut that down. And he's even been backpedaling a little bit, saying, oh, well, you're supposed to put it on your website. You're supposed to put the terms of service and blah, blah, blah. So he's backpedaling as well. And I'm like, okay, I have a suspicion that that's not going to keep working in Chatmatic. And that's why he's separating it. So this is what the button link will probably turn into. It's just like this, where you have to put it on your website. So while it works with Facebook and that works with the messenger part, it's going to be, that's basically the third feature, capturing their emails. And what will happen is you'll have to drive traffic to your site. Where the heck did it go? No, that's still the wrong one. So you'll have to drive traffic to your page, and then you'll have your offer there that you would want them to do. And this is the legitimate way of doing it. The only thing I don't like is that when you do this part, you're being kind of deceptive on who's getting that information. But the way they have it set up, it does link to a page, but when you reply. So nobody knows that this is, if I had bakers and cake makers here, nobody would know that that's the bakers and cake makers site until they continue with Facebook and do that. So that's kind of weird to me, but that's just kind of a nuance that I have. If they're on this page, they're going to assume that that's linked anyway. So that's the way the button link is supposed to work. So I think that's what is going to happen with Chatmatic, is that they're going to force them to either tell us to do it differently or whatever. So while I like the way Chatmatic does it, I'm pretty sure it's against the rules. But like I said, who knows? So that's the whole difference between that. But I think you could do this on there. There's got to be a way. Once I can get in, I'll get in a little bit later and see if I can take a look. I got to get on my laptop to do it. But Sandra, I got to tell you, this is one of the coolest pieces of software that I've seen in a while. And since Chatmatic came out, no bot software has come close to Chatmatic until the combination of these three. And now the combination of these three far surpass Chatmatic. They surpass what Chatmatic is going to be. And that's why I look at it and go, well, I know they're a lot cheaper and you get what you pay for, but yes, Sandra, this should be able to go onto Shopify. Let's see what they say here. Wow, they have a lot of comments on here. I may be thinking of the other one. The other one does go on Shopify. So campaign, I think you put the code in there. Social Jacker. Okay, short codes, tutorial support. Yeah, so you're building it without a website or a landing page. So I'm trying to figure out how you're going to get this on your site. I'm sure you put it on a code. Blah, blah, blah. These are all. Check out the sales page, Sandra, and make sure. They may not have specified Shopify. Let's see if something says Shopify. Nope, nothing in here. I have to get into the back end. I'll see if I can get some info, and I'll message you with it, with what I can find when I log into the back end. Because even if it doesn't work with Shopify, it can still work with content. I don't see why it wouldn't. But I didn't get a whole lot of time to play with all of these. Like I said, I was trying to get them to work with Trex, and that was my mistake, because I should have just skipped it and gone to normal, everyday people, not Trex, because that's a nightmare. That's the one thing I don't like about our site. I love the Trex site, but I don't like the fact that they can't adjust anything because the people that they hired it. Okay, yeah, I'll see if I can find out, and I'll let you know, Sandra, because I have a Shopify site as well, and it would be interesting to see if I can get it to work with that. Because they do have, there is a messenger integration, by the way, with Shopify that's free. And so hold on, wait, I should specify. Do you want it to be, how do you want it to work with Shopify? Do you want it to be like a, where they're checking out and you want it to go to their messenger after, you know, like their receipt goes to messenger or something? Or just capture the information? Because the unfortunate thing is, oh, it's a chat line. Yeah, you could do that already with the free messenger built-in thing on, if you go to Shopify. No, let's go to the actual login for it. Login. If you go into the apps and you visit the store and you go to, no, messenger. They have this right here where you can basically enable it anyway, and it's free. So you just go in here and you can put that on here. So that's, you can already do that. And from what I understand, this is pretty good. Now, what you can do then is, once you've attached the messenger here, because the messenger is going to be attached to your page, then you use, I think it's going to be, I don't know, one of the two, either funnel messenger or shop messenger. Which one did I say responds to things? You'll use one of them. You'll be able to use one of them to reply based on what they say. So I'll see if I can integrate that, because obviously you saw I didn't have that on my Baker site. So I'll see if I can add that and play with it a little bit on the Shopify one. Shopify is a good platform. The reason why I like Trex better than Shopify is because Trex lets you do the personalization. But if you're not, let's say you don't have a personalized product, you throw that on the Shopify store, you're going to get a better, I think you'll get a better experience on Shopify than Trex right now. Okay, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I just had to figure out the best way to document the paperwork and show that I'm charging whatever minimum it is. And I'll double check. Like I said, I don't think they made me separate it out, and it was like a really low minimum. So I think I could do it like $10 a month, or an annual, and I'll do like a discounted one, like $100 a year or something. So it'll be like super cheap for all of us. And then I'll get that information out no later than the end of the week, because I already told them, I said, if you can't find me an alternate solution, it'll be Stripe in our member platform. So, okay. And then if you guys have any other questions, please do not hesitate. Just reach out to me by Facebook. If for some reason I do not reply to you, go into K&K and say, hey, Kim, I sent you a message. Why are you not replying? Because every now and again, it marks messages as spam, and I never get to see them. I don't even know how that happens, because my normal spam never goes into my spam. How does my messenger spam, which is not spam, go into a spam? So who knows? I did like when they marked the ones that were spam from some prince in Africa trying to get money. Who knew that was going to make it onto Facebook? I thought for sure that thing would be dead by now. You know, those emails that went around, oh, I'm Prince, or I'm the executive for Prince blah, 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 and he needs you to take $10 million and put it in an account, and we'll pay you $100,000 to do it. Who falls for that? But anyway, and you're like, wait, is that an option? No. Yeah, I do it. And I'm like, but I got one through Facebook like that. And I was like, oh, I'm glad that was marked as spam and I never saw it. Because I would have been replying like, yeah, hey, yeah, tell me what account you're going to come to. I'll be going down. I so want to do a sting on them and get them. But it's because it's not real. They just are trying to get information. I tried to do that once. I bought some gemstones from a company in New York. Legitimate company, by the way. Not legitimate gemstones, but they were a real company. And I didn't, that's why I stopped buying from them. But one of their employees left the company and took their entire mailing list. And he was literally selling black diamonds on the market. Oh, for Social Jacker? Sorry. Yeah. Yep, I have to pull it out of there because I lost it. Yeah, so that one's for Social Jacker. Thanks, Joanne. But yeah, so he took the entire list that he had and he basically tried to sell us black diamonds. And I was like, or blood diamonds, I should say, blood diamonds on the black market. And I was like, what? These are blood diamonds. How the heck are you selling them? And then I figured it out that, and I kid you not, I am pretty sure that he was, not to be racist or anything, but the way he talked, where he's from, what he was promoting, it just felt like it was one of those funding terrorism things. And I was like, man, not like country he was from, because he was obviously in New York when he stole my information. But, you know, that's the whole scenario of it. When I did my research, I was like, you know what, I bet this is funding terrorism. So I forwarded it to the FBI, and I offered, I said, if you would like, I would be more than happy to participate in a sting. I love that you guys come. Oh, and by the way, Linda didn't say this, and she said she's not going to tell anybody, but she got her for sale. So I just want to say that, oh yeah, when I sign off, yeah. She was so excited about it too. I knew she was really close. So if you guys need me to look at numbers, just tell me. I mean, I'm happy. I'll ask you what questions, and if you can show me or do. She gave me a bunch of screenshots of stuff, and I looked at things and I said, yeah, you're really close. And then I went back and looked at her product, and I told her, I said, Linda, I hate to say this, but it's too plain. You've got to find something that's a little bit more novelty, like we discussed. And so she found that. She ran with it, and she got her for sale. So I was extremely pleased with that, because there's no reason why she was so close she should have been able to make a sale. So if you guys want me to look at numbers and tell you, you know, what I see, because sometimes that helps. I mean, you have the information, but it helps when an outsider looks at it and says, oh yeah, this is where it is. This is what that number is telling me. And like I said, I've had to do that myself, where I walk away and come back, or I've had to just walk away for like a month and then come back and look at it and go, oh man, I was really close right there. I should have kept going. You know, and once I train myself to do that, it's a little bit easier, but it is still hard. So just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I mean, we're still small, but that's what Linda said. I don't want to tell anybody, because if I go you have to tell everybody in the Trex group to come to our Monday night ones, because, you know, obviously it helped. And she goes, no, I'm not telling anybody, because then it'll be too big and I can't ask questions to get answers. That's what she told me. I was like, oh. I know, but we'll have to eventually, you know, we can fine tune with the smaller ones, but we got to eventually expand and let some other people be successful too, because there's a lot of people in Trex who are struggling. And the thing is that Trex is a really good system. It's that they're not giving, in my opinion, they're not giving the right people training. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Yeah, though it's still a little, you know, the Trex application is still a little bit fine tuning with that, because the Trex side, but you know, I have a tough time. I don't follow all of the Tuesday and Thursday ones. In fact, I don't follow most of them, because he hardly ever talks about content. But you know, he talks about how to use Trex for making products and stuff, which is not helpful to me, because I already know how to do that. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch it for a while. But I kind of got a little turned off by them when he was arguing with me about the whole, no, just use your personal ad account. I'm like, look, I've been doing Facebook for a while. I'm Facebook ad trained by Learn, who are experts at this. And you guys are telling people to use their personal Facebook ad account, and that is not true. So yeah, about getting too big. I don't know. I mean, we could always keep, you know, the Monday one, you know, we could probably still keep that one smaller, or we can even do supplemental ones, because, you know, we have our own group in there. I started doing this one as a general one to everybody, and I was going to start pushing a lot of people everywhere to it, but, you know, I haven't really had time to do that, so it stayed small as well. But eventually this one will probably get a lot bigger. Yes, you do, and that's fine. It's just that he wanted you to stay. No, not your ad account. Your personal ad account is not. You should have gone to eventually. You create it, but then when you go to business.facebook.com, and then you create your business, you would create a business ad account, right? And so that is going to open up my business manager. So I have two businesses that are linked to it. This one's my sister's, this one's mine, and she's added me on. But you want to make sure when you're looking at your ads, you want to have a business ad account. And so the way they taught you in Trex was not right. It was completely wrong. And he even questioned what Mari or whatever her name was on Thursday, he even said, well, we just tell people to use their personal ad account. Yes, you do. Yeah. No, you do. You can't get to anything on Facebook without going to your personal account first. So like when I come into Facebook, if you go to facebook.com and you go into your page, right? So then I can go up here and I can select my business account from there. Yes. So yes, it says business manager right here. So if you don't have business manager, that's when you've got to redo something, and reach out to me and I'll help you. But as long as you have business manager, you're fine. Because otherwise you would go down to your right here where it says create ads and manage ads. That's the wrong spot. That's for your personal one. And Mari, I think, or whatever her name was on Thursday, she even told Michael, she said, no, they're trying to do away with the personal ads account. So stop using your personal ads account. Make sure you have a business one, which was like vindication for me, because I've been saying that since day one with Trex, and on one of the webinars, Michael was arguing with me about it. No, that's just too hard for people. Good, Sandra, because you're not going to be able to soon. So it's better that you don't know. Nobody needs to know about personal ads anymore. That is, if that doesn't go away this year, I'd be surprised, because Facebook doesn't like it. I think it's too hard for them to manage. Exactly. Definitely. You're like, that's good. And it's just, there are some things, you wish that you didn't have to learn the things and have to unlearn them and relearn them or something, right? So this is what you don't have to unlearn. You just get to move on and say, woohoo, missed that ride. Because I started in personal ads, but then the second I found out that there was a business one, I hopped onto that anyway. So, okay, well, I'm going to go because I can hear my daughter and my husband discussing something, probably dinner. So you guys, I'll try to get some more videos done of this. Yeah, I had some last minute IRS stuff I had to do today too. That probably slowed me down a little bit. So tonight I'll focus on getting you some videos, setting this up. And like I said, by end of week, and by end of week, I mean Friday. So by Friday night, I'm going to have this done. I will have it completely done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I will figure it out. Okay, good, Sandra. That's why I was hoping I hadn't missed it. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I did. I went in there and I looked and I was like, oh crap, somebody messaged me and it went to my spam. It wasn't you, obviously. But yeah, definitely. And I usually reply. If it's in the morning, it takes me forever, because in the mornings I'm still sleeping. Yeah, I was pretty sick yesterday. I couldn't even talk. So, okay. Yep. We'll see you guys on Monday. And of course, ask questions. I'll post some more videos and stuff. And as I see stuff that's related, I'll keep sharing it, because, like the product videos and stuff, product images. So, all right. Message me with questions, put them in the group, whatever you want to do, whatever's more comfortable for you. And I will talk to you all on Monday. Have a great night.